Just needs the time to get it done. Please welcome Archie Miller.
It's always good to be back here. It's a special venue, one night a year, to have this many people committed to coming out and spending time with us. And it's always fun to get back and talk a little bit about what's going on. And this is something that you remember for a long time as a coach, year after year, seeing some of these faces, getting to know the people in this room a little bit more makes it even more important to be here and really give what you guys want. And you know, right now we're in a really sort of the last couple of days of what most people probably think is downtime. The season ends and your players start to go in different directions via graduation and changes. Your new players are now finishing high school or college nowadays. They're moving in and you're starting to formulate your plan on what you're going to do in the summer. And for us, we're right at that stage right now. You know, we had Juwan Morgan graduate, Evan Fitzner depart, Zach McRoberts finished his first year of grad school and obviously moved on, and obviously Romeo Langford finished his first season and declared for the draft. So we had 4 departures. All 4 guys did a phenomenal job in the spring. And Juwan obviously graduated in 4 years right on time. He probably had between 15 and 16 interviews with NBA teams over the last 45 and some days. And you know, he's heading for his plan in June. And I think he's going to be in good shape moving forward. He's an incredible kid. Evan will be playing professional basketball somewhere, waiting on his time. Zach actually, just recently, I think he's getting ready to move to Fort Collins, Indiana, and start working for Lilly. So he's moving in that direction, which is good. And then Romeo's hanging out in California right now. He's getting ready for the big day, which is obviously the NBA draft. And you know, anywhere you want to look and anywhere you want to talk, he's doing really well. He's coming off of a thumb surgery, which has really kind of impeded his workout process, but he's done really well. He's interviewed with 15, 16 teams, and we're excited and really hopeful that he'll become our 77th NBA draft pick in Indiana. With the departures, obviously you got to add, and we have 3 new guys coming. We're excited about all 3. Trace Jackson Davis and Armand Franklin entered campus today. They started to get their physicals and started to get their stuff in order. You know, they're starting to become college basketball players here. So we're excited to get those 2. And then Joey Brunk decided upon his graduation from Butler to choose to come and finish his last 2 years at Indiana, which we're really excited about. Adding Trace and adding Joey to what we have really for the very first time, we have Big Ten size inside. Juwan really played predominantly a big role for us over the last couple of years, but in time, as it overwhelms you sometimes, especially in the Big Ten with the size of the bodies and the strength inside. So being able to get that depth at the true center spot with Duran and being able to play bigger is something that's exciting. And then, you know, our returning guys, you know, for the first time in a while, you know, we're not going to have a ton of new people. You know, we had 6 new bodies on campus last summer trying to get them sped up. But those guys have all been here now for a year with Rob, Devisi, Jerome, him coming back hopefully healthy this season. We're knocking on wood on that. So we have a good plan, and it's going to be a very important summer for these guys. There's got to be some development, and there's got to be chemistry like everything. But as you go through a season like we did, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about the people in your locker room. You learn a lot about your staff. It's not fun. And at the end of the day, anybody who thinks that you were frustrated or the angriest person in the world about Indiana basketball, the person standing before you is more pissed than anybody. So make sure we all understand that. He gets a stern talking to every morning in the mirror, so you don't have to worry about getting the message to him. But we're excited for our summer. We really are. We'll have everybody on campus all June, July, and we'll finish in August. And we'll start the preparations, obviously, our upcoming season. And schedule's going to be good. Working on finishing it right now. The headliner games is we'll find out here maybe in July, early July, who our ACC opponent will be. hopefully at home. We're not in the Gavitt games this year with the Big East. We do have Notre Dame and Bankers Life. We're in Madison Square Garden in the Jimmy V Classic versus UConn in early December. And we're still working on our return with Arkansas, who will be coming back with a new coaching staff and a new team to assembly. Those will be the 4 big ones right now. And that'll kind of pin us up as we try to build our schedule around the early Big Ten season, which I'm not sure who will draw in those first 2 in early December, but adding those Big Ten games in early December has really challenged your non-conference. It makes it really, really important that your non-conference obviously builds around it, but it's a tough stretch from basically the Big Ten Challenge early late November all the way through finals when you finish with that Bankers Life game. Those are some really, really tough games. So Big Ten had an incredible year. Really, to be honest with you, an unmatched year in maybe the last 15 years with the amount of depth in the league and the returners. I think it'll be as good next year as well. And for us to be at our best against the Big Ten, we have to win at home. And I think that's one of the big things with this team this offseason is understanding how important it is to play in assembly and hold the court. And we should be, at some level, hopefully unstoppable in there. And that's the goal to do it. But this team has to have more of a concentration level about playing at home in the Big Ten. Because if you do that, you're going to be in a great situation to do what you want towards the end of the year. Right now it's recruiting. The college basketball landscape has changed with the transfers, and obviously the draft process puts a lot of rosters in limbo. So for us, we're really focused in on the juniors that are going to be seniors next year. We're hoping to sign a class of 4. If we could do that, I think that would be really good. And this 4-man class is really, really going to be hit and miss on skill level, and to be honest with you, DNA. We need some guys coming in here, really ready from day one to be able to compete and be able to be coached, and a skill level that has to up, our talent a little bit. It's not so much about talent as much as it is about skill and IQ. This is a big class for us in 20 that we're excited to hopefully get going here in the next couple months. It'll be really sped up. We're pretty much recruiting year-round now. June has turned into a lot of off-campus recruiting in the state of Indiana and around the country. In July is July. So June and July, we're really hitting on and off-campus recruiting, and we're working with our team. And as we head into August, hopefully our fall is going to be a big one in terms of this first class of 2020. So that's sort of where we're at right now. I'm not sure if you guys want to ask a couple questions before we can get out. It's usually a little bit more helpful than just hearing me stand up here, but I'll take a couple questions before we have to break. Yes, sir? Jerome Hunter, this past season, as most of you guys know, was held out due to injury. He has a leg condition that is still very uncertain. He's not 100% cleared by any stretch of the imagination, and we're not 100% on what he's going to be able to do. But he's getting a little bit closer to allowing our doctors and our medical people and our staff to see where he's at. He's upped his activity level. He's been cleared to do a lot of basketball one-on-one activity. There's no playing for him right now, so he's basically in rehabilitation. Tim Garl and our doctors. He does a plan that in the morning. He then lifts weights in the afternoon, and then in the evening time he's on the floor, doing some more agility work just to kind of continue to build his conditioning level, his stamina, and kind of get his feet back under him. So he's doing a nice job there. We're hoping each month we'll get more information on Jerome. And it's a very, very unfortunate thing. It's life. He's having to learn a hard lesson right now for the first time. And sometimes that happens. You bring in a very talented guy, and he wasn't able to impact our team past basically October 1, which he was really playing well leading into that. He's got great size and he can really shoot the ball. So we're knocking on wood, and we're all hopeful that we can get Jerome more and more back into basketball as the summer goes. Yes, sir.
What's your take on one-and-done players?
One-and-done players, they shouldn't have to go to college for a year. In any profession, when you have young guys that have the ability to cash in and make millions of dollars, they should be allowed to do that. I think at the end of the day, something will get changed, at a certain point in time, but we're really kind of helpless. A lot of people think it's the NCAA, but it's not. It's really the NBA has to agree, and their Players Association have to agree on age limits and whatnot. So we're kind of a little bit restricted. But Romeo is a classic example of a guy with a lot of attention paid to him and a lot of he's this, he's that. But Romeo was an 18-year-old freshman in college, and he was enjoying himself going to school, taking on road trips. I mean, Romeo stayed to the very last day of the academic calendar year, and he finished all of his academic work, and then moved out with his mom, his dad, and our staff on the last Friday before he had to go. He didn't have to do that. Romeo's a good case, a classic case of a guy that enjoyed his time in Indiana, realized that college was hard, and he worked to get better as it went around. In days gone by, you would probably have that opportunity to see Romeo become a Big Ten Player of the Year or First Team All-American next year as a sophomore. But that's just not the way it works right now with the game. So I think it'll change in the course of time. I'm not sure when, but to me, you have to get old in college basketball. And right now, we're getting younger. And we're bringing in classes of guys, whether it's 5, 3, or 4, or in your first 2, 3, 4 years, you're actually getting really young again. And that's what it has to do when you're trying to do it the right way. You're trying to build up stability with classes that get older and develop and lead the young guys. And really, our sophomore class is our first real class. They have to be better next year. And then Trace and Armand and Joey, they have to sort of carry the ball to the next level. So getting old is tricky, but getting old is very important. Couple more? Yes, sir.
Coach, you've got 3 or 4 people, players coming in this year. What are you doing to encourage the chemistry amongst the players prior to the start of the season?
That's a good question. I mean, you're always trying to build chemistry, and I think that's why the summer is really important. Not only are you on the floor with them as coaches, and they are on the floor together as teammates, but you really have to put them in situations where they're with each other off the floor as well. So you're looking for once a week for some type of team activity that they can do on their own. You're also looking for one maybe family night a week where your entire staff, families, and players are together. You're constantly on a quest to try to build that trust. I think that's a big thing this summer for us. But just the work, I think most guys and most people know you got to go through things to get better, and you got to learn from them. Families are no different, and our basketball program is a family. You got a lot of people involved, and you got to make sure at the end of the day everybody's sort of sacrificing and doing what they got to do and being rewarded for that as well. But it's a challenge. But I really feel like Joey Brunk is a really, really important figure for our team over the next couple seasons. He's got a great personality. He's older. He's competitive. He's played in the Big East. And I think he brings a very dominant, loud voice to the floor and the locker room and off the floor, where I think he can really be a fire plug for us. We need more of an energy level. We need more of a personality. Sometimes when you get young, you're quiet. You don't say much. As you get older, you learn the ropes a little bit. So I think bringing in Joey, to me, is a real important thing. When we talk to him about recruiting, is to bring, that passion and also that personality to our team. We need that. Yes?
Yeah, first of all, I'm a huge Archie Miller fan.
Oh, thank you.
I know we have 4 scholarships for 2020.
Yep.
We've got 2 that we could use this year for grads that could maybe shoot the 3, the perimeter.
Yeah.
That we could use them for 1 year, still have the 2 left to get 4 for 2020. Why don't we try to get?
Yeah, I think one of the things, and it's a good question, we do have 4, and it's the first time since I've been here that we've had the ability to have any roster flexibility. We haven't had any roster flexibility since I've gotten here. We inherited 16 on scholarship, and 3 guys went pro the first spring, so we were full boat with 13, and then this past season we were full boat with 13. And it really, I've always been under the impression that lower number is better for basketball, especially at a place like Indiana. You don't see the floor earlier in your career, you're going to roll fast. That's the way things work now. So when your scholarship numbers are down a little bit, I think it gives those 9, 10, and 11 guys a little bit more light at the end of the tunnel. So we've kept 2 scholarships. We've obviously explored a lot of the options with the grad transfer stuff, but the grad transfer is a little tricky, because if I graduate and I go to school, I better be getting what I signed up for. And not every grad transfer is coming in to be a part of a team. They kind of want that instant spot or whatever. But if one would work, if one would happen to impact our team in a good way, we could go that direction with it, because it wouldn't hurt us in 20. But this class, like I said, in 20, having more scholarships to me is very important. It has the ability for us not to be as limited with 1 or 2. We want to have the ability to bring in 3 to 4 kids, see what happens in the off season, and maybe add another one. But like I said, I want a bigger class in 20 to come in if something could change, you know, you never know. Guys fall out of the sky in August nowadays. You may just catch it. You see how it works. If he can help us, if something could help our basketball team in the immediate future, and we felt it was a good thing, we would try that. Thank you. Great to see everybody again. Appreciate it.